Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today as we continue our NFL playoff breakdown series here. We're talking about the Los Angeles Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but just a quick reminder, if you want to get in on the signed Justin Herbert helmet and the signed Austin Eckler jersey just over my left shoulder here, make sure you enter our giveaway here before it's too late. We'll be announcing the winner the week leading up to the Super Bowl. I'll throw a graphic up here for a few seconds. You can pause the video if needed, just so you know how to be eligible and how to gain extra entries into this giveaway. Just make sure you have your free account set up at Pristine Auction using that promo code Headliners just to make sure you're eligible for this giveaway. We'll also send you a $10 off coupon for sign up over there at Pristine Auction. So make sure you do that here right away. But now is the time where we go to this matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now this has to be one of the most difficult matchups. Most difficult, is that proper English? Who cares? It's got to be one of the most difficult playoff matchups I've talked about so far here this year. It could literally go either way. Both teams full of playmakers, veteran quarterbacks, experience. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the information here. It's going to be played Sunday, January 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern in Tampa. In Florida in January. Not bad weather, right? Could be a lot worse other places, and we'll see some of that maybe in some of these other matchups. But in Florida, sunny, 52 degrees, a 20% chance of precipitation, which is like every day in Florida. Wind, not overly excessive, right around 11 miles an hour. Nothing to really worry about from a weather standpoint here that's going to affect this ball game. I still expect the offenses to be full go here for the entire game. But what about some of their season ranks? Where do they stack up against each other here? And really, when you look at the numbers here, they kind of look pretty similar, right? Both teams finished outside the top 20 in rushing offense. Both teams also finished outside the top 20 in passing defense. Kind of surprised for maybe the Los Angeles Rams, right? You think of Jalen Ramsey, but outside of that, when they're banged up in the secondary, they had to go out and sign retired safety Eric Weddle. There's some vulnerabilities in that secondary of the Los Angeles Rams, but there has been all season long for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. How does that play a part in this matchup? That's something we'll look at here in just a little bit, but both of these teams also finished inside the top 10 in passing offense, which is no surprise, and rushing defense. Really tough to run against either one of these teams, and we know they're loaded with offensive weapons on the outside. Now, Tom Brady dealing with a few more injuries than that of Matthew Stafford, right? We know that there's no Chris Godwin. AB is out doing AB things now. He's no longer on the roster. So some of the unusual suspects here in Tampa Bay may have to step it up this week. Maybe we see some Cyril Grayson, some Brashad Perryman, the return of playoff Lenny. We'll still have a little bit of Mike Evans and a whole lot of Gronk, but they're going to need some of these lesser known guys to kind of step up to continue to hang with the Los Angeles Rams here this week. What about some injury concerns? And a lot more bigger name guys on the side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here that we really need to pay closer attention to. Now, is LA 100% healthy? No. Offensive lineman Andrew Whitworth, who's like 41 years old. He's banged up, but hey, they've been playing great football there in LA on the offensive line. And really, overall, as an entire team, not really too many question marks heading into this matchup here this weekend. On the Tampa Bay side, though, we got Cyril Grayson, the wide receiver, who kind of became one of Tom Brady's favorite targets here end of the season. Does he play here? He's questionable with a hamstring strain. We got Leonard Fournette. He's currently still on the IR, but he's back at practice, and he's already come out himself and said, hey, we'll see you on Sunday. So it sounds like the return of Leonard Fournette, which is a good thing for this offense. And then, honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest question marks here when we're looking at concerns for injuries in Tampa Bay, it's offensive lineman Tristan Wirfs, one of the best young offensive linemen in the NFL, dealing with an ankle injury and currently questionable. They need him to play. He's one of the major reasons why Tom Brady stays clean on a weekly basis. They need him out there because we know that if Tampa Bay is going to have a chance, they need to protect Tom Brady here in this matchup. Let's look at a few storylines. And the first one up here is going to be Tom Brady. He's 0-2 against the Los Angeles Rams as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now, does that mean that they have his number and that he can't beat the Rams? No, that's not what that means. It's the playoffs and anything can happen here, especially with the GOAT Tom Brady in the playoffs. But it's just one of those things where the Rams have confidence, right? They know that they can beat a Tom Brady-led Buccaneers team. They've done it before. They have that confidence coming into this matchup. What about which defensive line dominates the most? Both of these teams, dominant defensive lines. Which one of these units can get after the opposing quarterback the most? we don't necessarily have mobile quarterbacks in this matchup. Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford not setting any land speed records anytime soon. They need to have time in the pocket. They need to remain upright. They need to remain clean. They need to have some time to let these routes develop down the field. Now, which one of these offensive lines can play the best and keep the opposing defensive linemen at bay is probably going to have the upper hand in this matchup. Now, what about the running game? Now, two solid run defenses here, right? The Rams and the Bucs, really difficult to run against. We saw a little bit earlier, they're both top 10 against opposing running backs. Will either team commit to the run? Or are they just going to say, you know what, we're kind of going to abandon the run here a little bit. We're going to try to beat you deep with our passing game because both secondaries a little bit more vulnerable than they are on the ground. It's something to pay attention to. With the return of Leonard Fournette, I do expect him to have a role early on in this game. Both teams want to establish a run game, especially with the return of Cam Akers in LA, who's honestly looked pretty freaking good coming off of that torn Achilles. He's really somebody who could be a difference maker in this offense. They need to try to take some of the pressure off. But if either one of these teams struggle running the football, do not be surprised if we see these quarterbacks drop back 40 times and throw the ball a lot in this matchup, which means it's going to come down to a game of big plays, both offensive and defensive. Now, we know when it comes to offensive firepower, LA, kind of hard to match them, right? You got Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Cam Akers. You can't cover all of them with double coverage. There's not enough guys on the field. And Tampa Bay, like I mentioned earlier, is going to need some lesser-known guys to step up. Can it be just Mike Evans and just Gronk to beat the LA Rams? I don't believe so. They're going to need somebody else to step up, and they're going to need a big game from their defense. We've seen so far this season when Matthew Stafford sees some pressure, he's more likely to get those turnovers, throw those interceptions, and that's what they really need in Tampa Bay. That's where they really live, right? Is they kind of set the tone with their defense, and then their offense just finishes you. That's what they want to do. Kind of hard to do that with the Rams, though, because they can score in a hurry. They can put up a lot of points quick, and if they get a lead early, don't be surprised if we try to see them run some Cam Akers a little bit later just to limit the opportunities that Tom Brady has. We've seen how many times in his career that if you give Tom Brady a one-possession game and 2 minutes on the clock, he can come back and tie that game or beat you. So they're going to want to try to keep the ball away from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, run the ball late if they have a lead. But we're looking for those big plays. The team that has the most going to be the team who's victorious. But you know, one of the ways to enter our giveaway is through prize picks, so why not include a couple prize picks in these videos, right? We've been doing it with all the matchups. We're going to do it here again, and here are the two that I'm kind of looking at for this matchup. The first one, Tom Brady. His current passing prop set at 281.5. That's definitely a number that he excels most weeks in this offense. I expect them to kind of fall behind. I really do. I think the Rams have a great opportunity to come out quick in this ballgame, and if they do, Tom Brady's going to have to throw the football a lot and for all 4 quarters. Plus, we talked about the run defense of the LA Rams. Super solid. Could rely on a little bit more of the checkdowns even to Leonard Fournette, but that could boost that overall floor for the passing game. So I'm going to take the over on Tom Brady. And then I like Odell Beckham as well. How do you stop every weapon in this offense? There's no way they can, right? We know Cooper Kupp can beat you all over the field. Van Jefferson can beat you deep. And Odell Beckham is a mixture of both. They can really utilize him in the short passing game. Plus, he's been able to find some distance there deeper down the field. Odell Beckham is playing great football, and his current receiving prop is only at 42.5 yards. Going to smash the over there as well. But now is the time where we head into our Manscaped prediction of the game. And here's where a lot of people get pissed off at an internet prediction because I don't pick the team that they want to win. Too many people getting butthurt out there these days over an internet prediction of a ball game. But I just believe that the offense of the Los Angeles Rams, the chemistry they have right now, the confidence that they're playing with now with the return of Cam Akers, they kind of have some swagger back in their step there in LA, especially with Odell Beckham playing well on the outside. It could really go either way. It's really hard to go against Tom Brady, but he's not invincible. And this Rams team is a team that I believe can go out there and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here this week. And if Tampa Bay was 100% healthy, could be a completely different ball game. But with the way the Rams are playing right now and the current state of the Bucs, I'm leaning the way of the Los Angeles Rams, going 27-24 in favor of LA. But this is where we want to stay interactive. Let us know down below in the comment section, who do you think wins this ball game? Who do you want to win this ball game is another question, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Make sure you get into that giveaway. We want to make sure you get your entry in before it's too late. Looking forward to giving away that signed helmet and signed jersey. But for now, hopefully you guys are having a great week here so far. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.